on to week 6, and we are back here with our waiver wire picks. Coming off another big week, both in our waiver wire and our plays of the week video. John, week 6, the standard CFF league format is 11-week regular season. That puts us right in the middle already of the regular season. I mean, these plays matter.
Oh, absolutely. There's only 11 weeks in the typical CFF season, Matt. So we will be over the halfway mark after this weekend.
All right, well, let's waste no more time then. Let's get into our picks of the week, John, starting the quarterback position like always. And we've got Chandler Morris, who's leading the red-hot Cavaliers.
Matt, I stayed up the entire Friday night to watch this game. It actually turned out
You had to.
Right? Between Florida State and Virginia. And I will give Chandler Morris credit. He is a gunslinger. He makes some mistakes, Matt, but you know what? He doesn't shy away. He comes right back the next series. If he throws a pick, I am impressed with him and this offense. He's available in 75% of leagues right now after having consecutive games with over 40 fantasy points, Matt. He is averaging 30.4 fantasy points per game, and I was shocked when I looked at this, Matt. He is CFF quarterback number 9 for the year. Virginia plays in the ACC. I'm not really worried about the upcoming schedule. You could do worse if you need a bye replacement than Chandler Morris.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And we talk about it all the time. A confident quarterback in the ACC. Like folks sleep on it. You think Big 12, the ACC is such a quarterback-friendly conference, and we've got Chandler Morris. That's a really great play here. Switching up gears a little bit, we're going to do Liam Szarka he's at Air Force. You know we love a military academy quarterback here.
And he is a star, Matt. He pounded Hawaii at home. But what makes him interesting, Matt, he's actually a good passer. These military academies have tweaked their offenses, and they're incorporating the pass more often than I can remember in my lifetime. And Szarka ended up scoring 45.8 fantasy points against the Hawaii. He had 278 yards passing. He had over 100 yards rushing, Matt. What more can you ask for from your quarterback? He's become a star down the stretch here, or midway point of the season. And PFF likes him also. They're giving him an A- so far. You could do a lot worse than a triple option quarterback who can throw the ball right now, especially with these bye weeks and so many players injured.
Yeah, that's the key thing here, John. It's big time bye week. You got to dig deep. So I'm pulling a player here who's just on 1% of rosters, and that's Broc Lowry. He's at Western Michigan. And no, I did not pick him just so I can make the thumbnail brown this week. I had to find a new color for the thumbnail. But let's look at it here. Western Michigan has played Michigan State, North Texas, Illinois, Toledo, University of Rhode Island. That's an FCS program. If you take out the Michigan State game and the Illinois game, he is averaging 23.5 fantasy points per game. Like, this is what we're looking for, right?
Yes.
He has 5 rushing touchdowns and 168 rushing yards. If you look at the passing stats, they're not super impressive. They're not bad. But it's his rushing upside, especially those touchdowns that make a difference. And you might be saying, all right, well, why are you making a point to say non-power 5 versus power 5? Well, it's MAC time, folks. This is MACtion. He's got UMass, Ball State, Miami of Ohio, Central Michigan. I mean, these are 4 of the worst defenses in the country. Those are his next 4 games. If you are in a tough spot, you need a fill-in play. Well, he's available in 99% of leagues. You could do much worse than 23.5 points per week.
Matt, I saw him against Michigan State because I believe that was the opening weekend, right? I think It might have been a Thursday or Friday game. And they were just overwhelmed. And I give Lowry credit. He hung in there. And I caught a little bit against Illinois. I didn't watch it with close eyes like I did Michigan State. But the young man can play. And now the competition is a lot more savory.
Yeah, and John, all of our patrons have access to the weekly plays of the week video. And if you tuned into that video last week, you would have played Caleb Hawkins, the running back out of North Texas. We touted him. John went 8 for 9 in his picks of the week last week. We're 73% overall in the season. It's a big advantage for those who are supporting us on Patreon. And if you want to join and get that video, the link will be in the episode description. But John, a big week last week for Caleb Hawkins, but you're not expecting it to be a one-hit wonder.
No, not at all. And I've done a little bit of research on this young man, and I picked him up on 4 teams after we recorded our video last week. And my only regret is I only started him in 2 of the leagues. I do like to vary lineups when you're talking about sleepers, but I do wish I had played him in all 4 teams. Heck, he scored 41.8 fantasy points. The week before, he scored 37.3. Matt, he's a near perfect back for this North Texas offense. We know they're going to throw the ball a lot. This young man is over 200 pounds. What I like about him, because I caught my eye on him yesterday, he is very good vision between the tackles. I'm not talking NFL vision. Those are special players. For the college level, in a spread offense, Matt, he has very good vision, and he bounces off people with his contact balance. That's why he's got 8 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Matt, they're on a bye, but he should still be picked up immediately.
All right, well, it's time to lock in Raleek Brown. You know, everything, it was a running back by committee heading into the season. You know, Raleek Brown popped 2 weeks ago. We weren't sure. I watched the game this week with Arizona State. I mean, it's the Raleek Brown show. They are leaning on him. He looks explosive. He's producing. This is somebody, you know, he's a little bit higher than our normal ownership we like to highlight on the waiver wire show, 46%. But we'll highlight these guys when 46% is just too low.
Absolutely. He should be on about 75%, Matt. And hey, I was touting Tyson Brown over the summer, and I drafted a ton of Tyson Brown. But he was injured heading into the second week of the season. I ended up picking up a Raleek Brown, and I've been playing him every week since, Matt. He is great, Matt. I agree with you. He's more explosive. He's got second-level vision. Once he gets the ball in the hands, he can score at any time. 19 catches. He's very dangerous in that game. And, Matt, he's coming up against Utah, Texas Tech, and Houston. I think he's going to continue to be the bell cow in this offense. I don't understand why he's available everywhere.
Yeah, it's especially because it's tough out there right now with the running back position in particular. I mean, this is your heavy fab play of the week, right? If you've been stashing up that fab, you have the lead in your league. I think this is the guy you're willing to go in and pay up for. So we're a little bit more wide receiver heavy. We like the wide receivers a little bit more this week. So just 2 running backs, but we have 4 wideouts here, and starting with Cortez, Braham, another player, John, that was a big hit last week that we want to make sure we highlight in this week's waiver wire show. He was on our CFF plays of the week last week.
Yeah, and he ended up scoring 30.7 points, Matt. And again, Memphis is undefeated. I think it's the first time since 2019. And I've been watching the Tigers for over 15 years. And despite coaching changes and everything else, they continue to score fantasy points. And Cortez Braham is the guy. It is clear. 23 and basically 31 fantasy points in the last 2 games. He has 30 targets for 22 catches and 382 yards, 4 touchdowns. Matt, PFF has graded him at an 82. So he's playing at a very nice level of football. He was teammates at Nevada with Brandon Lewis, the quarterback. And I'm never afraid of that American Conference schedule. Go pick up Braham right now, everyone.
Yeah, we love ourselves some American Conference.
Love the American Conference.
All right. Well, I'm going back to the MAC here. I'm going with Victor Snow. I think he's in an interesting spot here. You look over the first 3 weeks of the season, he was averaging over 15.5 fantasy points per game. He was without Roberson the last 2 weeks, right? And so His yards per carry have gone down, but his targets have gone up. And I think that gives him a nice floor play. This last week against UConn, John will tell you, 12 targets. He caught 7 of those for 68 yards. They also gave him 2 touches on the ground. It's just a player who the Buffalo offense wants to get the ball to, and 3 touchdowns in 5 games. I'll take that. But you've noticed over the last couple weeks, I've tried to not only highlight players that are good now, but also have a juicy playoff run, right? Because you might want to stash these guys for later. Well, Victor Snow, he gets Eastern Michigan and UMass the next 2 weeks. That's very nice. Yeah, and then he gets to finish with Central Michigan, Miami of Ohio, and Ohio. Again, these MAC defenses, if you can pull those guys, in your championship, in your semifinal matchups, that can make a big difference while, some of the more marquee names, John, are playing, ACC rivalry week or, tough, deep SEC matchups.
Yeah, and I can attest. I play in some leagues with like 35 player rosters, 15 starters. I have Victor Snow on 2 of those teams. He's a real nice flex option with a consistent 10 to 15 points. If he can get in the end zone a little bit more, Matt, we're golden.
Yeah, and that is so valuable this time of year. All right, Kyri Shoels?
Correct.
Okay. Take it away.
Oh, sorry. I brain farted for a second.
He was so hyped that I nailed the pronunciation.
So we've been waiting for this San Jose State offense to pop. And I started to look at it, Matt. They got destroyed by Texas. They ended up losing to Central Michigan. Idaho they beat, and then they lost to Stanford. But, Matt, this young man, because I have Danny Scutero on a bunch of teams, I've been watching these San Jose, oh, my God, what are they? Not the Spartans.
They're
late
the Spartans,
at night.
yep.
Matt, in the last 3 games, he has had 10, 4, and 12 targets. He has had fantasy points of 15, 13, and yesterday on Saturday, he had 31 points. He had 10 catches on those 12 targets for 147 yards and a touchdown. Hey, the Mountain West, again, a very tasty defensive challenge conference. Shoels is going to see single coverage as long as Scutero is on the field. I like this young man.
Yeah, I feel like we were searching, right, for that X in the San Jose State offense, so we may have finally gotten it here.
Yes.
All right, let's finish with Pitt. Raphael Williams, follow the targets, man. We say it each and every week. Follow the targets. He's averaging just shy of 19 fantasy points per game. He had 16 receptions on 25 targets in his non-FCS game. So Pitt's only played 3 games so far. And the first one was against Duquesne, and it didn't matter, right? He didn't play. I mean, he did play. He had 1 catch for 45 yards. That's awesome, but he wasn't going to get the volume, right? Against Central Michigan, 9 targets. Against West Virginia, 9 targets. Against Louisville, 7 targets. And he's over 15 fantasy points in every game against a non-FCS opponent. He's got 1 touchdown in all of those games. He's got 100+ yards in 2 out of 3 of those games. That's really nice consistency. Pitt is playing Boston College, Florida State, Syracuse, North Carolina State, Stanford. Those last 3 teams, Syracuse, North Carolina State, Stanford, are bad defenses. BC and Florida State are average defenses against the pass. But here's the key, and this is what's an important thing to consider. Pitt's going to be playing in a negative game script in those games, right?
Should be.
Yeah, so if you can get a wide receiver in a negative game script and games that are probably still going to have a high total, right, those are the things that you're looking for when you're looking for a player who's available in most fantasy football leagues. And I think Raphael Williams can be a really sneaky ad at this point in the season. John, those are our 9 players of Week 6. If you have any questions about these guys or other players, we love that you all drop the comments each and every week. Feel free to do that. Start sit questions. By the way, we love when you tell us that we helped you win the last week. Those are our favorite comments. We always get a few of those each week at least. And a reminder, if you want the double dose of CFF advice, head to the link in the episode description. Get our CFF plays of the week. You could have had Caleb Hawkins. You could have had Braham. You could have had Wayne Knight. We really big hits last week. We want to help you out. We want to get you those Week 6 victories. Let's get on to them.